So I'm coming back with another story time. Except this time, I'd say this one is a little bit more from recent times. So I was working at Walmart. I was a support manager at Walmart. I'm doing my thing, doing my due diligence. Being a Walmart, being a support manager. Running the general merchandise side of the store. Making it look good, making it look like it's mine. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I was doing. And I see my peoples. My peoples comes up to me. Somehow the topic of weed got brought up in our conversation. And he told me where I could go to get the supplies to grow it myself. So I'm like, whole time he talking, I'm listening, I'm like, yeah. Seems kind of interesting. That seems like something I would like to do. I went to the crib or whatever. I started doing my research. Go ahead, get on my Steve Jobs, start typing at them computers and shit, typing at them keyboards. I ain't even have a keyboard. It was on a phone. I started doing my research. So I ordered everything that I needed. Pot soil. Shit, I ordered a big ass tent. Threw that in a room. Lighting, all of that. I got all my things. You know what I'm saying? So, or fans and shit like that. So ordered all of that. Got it set up. And everything was going decent. But when I first started harvesting my plants, it wasn't good. It was terrible, actually. The buds was super loose. It was barely anything there. It was all stem. As time went on, I got better. I got better and better and better at growing this thing. And I eventually fell in love with it. I fell in love with the game. So I went ahead and grabbed a bigger lighting system, like a bunch of big ass lights to hang from my ceiling. I grabbed just all types of shit. Just and upgraded. And then I put basically my tent stayed in one room. That was for the babies and the teenage plants and shit like that. Once they became adults, they got sent into the room with the big ass lights. Look at that. You see what I'm saying? All of this in my little weak ass duplex. Of course, I had a neighbor. As I said, it was a duplex. And they ended up smelling it because, this scent fucking traveled through the vents and all that. And they ended up getting a nice strong whiff of it. And they called the landlord. Luckily, they didn't call the police. I appreciate it. They called the landlord. The landlord calls me. And he basically like, I understand what you're doing. I understand that you're smoking. And right there, when he thought it was smoking, I'm like, he don't know that I'm grown. But he like, could you, just kind of keep it down, so the neighbors don't keep complaining to me. And I told him, yeah, I got you. And I didn't make enough corrections because later on, the neighbors came back and they were still pissed. But this time, I was walking in the crib and I seen one of my neighbors. This time he finally said something to me personally. And I should have corrected my shit, you know what I'm saying? But he said something and he was basically like, cut that shit out, man. And I was like, I got mad as fuck. I became infuriated as soon as he said it. And I guess I probably shouldn't have been because, nobody wants a full-blown fucking weed farm next to him. I understand now looking back at it. But I'm mad and I became hella defensive. So I approach him and I'm like, what the fuck is you gonna do about it? And we basically, tensions are rising. And, he looking at me. I'm like fucking doinking this nigga, put my finger in his face, all that. And he looked at me and he said, I'm calling the police. Right there, I walked off and I told him, I don't give a fuck, call him. I walked in the crib. That was the end of that. Now, fortunately, the police were never called. I got my shit together. I finally covered up all of my the holes in my operation, I would say. Believe it or not, I stopped using my central air. I covered up all the vents and shit. And this way, they wouldn't be able to smell anything. So it wouldn't travel next door. And that's what I ended up doing. Had a good time. It was fun while it lasted. You know, goofy shit. Goofy shit. But that could have been a lot worse. It could have escalated if my neighbor had wanted to take it straight to the police. That I see where that could have been very bad because the police could have been like, "Oh wait, you don't have a you mean da 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 da." Till next time, fellas, I'm gonna have another story time, and I hope to see you again, motherfucker.